Just a couple housekeeping. We'll hold that for a second. I need to light the candles. Couple housekeeping things before we start. If you need restrooms, they're right outside the door to my left, your right. There's 2 bathrooms out there. And just a couple changes to the lineup. Reading our first selection is going to be Tina McAvoy, one of our hospice supervisors, and as well as reading the names with 2 other individuals. Good afternoon. My name is Christine Mignot. I'm the hospice volunteer supervisor. And on behalf of the entire Dignity Health Hospice team, welcome to our annual Light Up a Life ceremony. We are grateful to our host, Pastor Jason Sisk Provencio, and United Church of Christ of SLO for graciously opening their doors for us to our event. We are also streaming this event thanks to our videographer, Ben Slocum, and the United Church of Christ. Our lives are made up of greetings and goodbyes. And when it comes to saying farewell to those we love the most, finding the right words can be difficult. After all, how can we eloquently express everything that they meant to us in just a few words? How do we remember, honor, and celebrate those who meant so much to us? Today we will try, through words and songs, with names and photos, to remember and share, whether the loss was last week, last month, last year, or years ago. We are linked as a family through the love of our absent children, parents, husbands and wives, sons and daughters, siblings, grandparents, friends. I now invite Pastor Jason to offer the invocation.
Good afternoon, everyone. You are welcome to pray with me now. Spirit of love and life, we pause to remember the people whom we carry with us in our hearts and our minds. The people who helped us experience love and joy and wonder, we carry them with us now. Help us remember the lessons they've taught us, the truths that they shared with us, and all of the ways that they helped us find purpose and meaning. Remind us also that there are others journeying with us whom we can contact in difficult times. The times when we need a hug, or need to cry, or to talk about a birthday, an anniversary, or another important time. Talking about our loved ones with people who will listen somehow helps us find healing. We also ask that you comfort us and help us find peace, loving Spirit. Be with us in our time of grief and help us remember the light that our loved ones gave to us and continue giving to us. We pray this in the many names by which we understand you. Amen. And now a reading selection.
This is called On the Death of the Beloved by John O'Donohue. Though we need to weep your loss, you dwell in that safe place in our hearts where no storm or night or pain can reach you. Your love was like the dawn, brightening over our lives, awakening beneath the dark a further adventure of color. The sound of your voice found for us a new music that brightened everything. Whatever you enfolded in your gaze quickened in the joy of its being. You placed smiles like flowers on the altar of the heart. Your mind always sparkled with wonder at things. Though your days were here brief, your spirit was alive, awake, complete. We look towards each other no longer from the old distance of our names. Now you dwell inside the rhythm of breath, as close to us as we are to ourselves. Though we cannot see you with our outward eyes, we know our soul's gaze is upon your face, smiling back at us from within everything to which we bring our best refinement. Let us not look for you only in memory, where we would grow lonely without you. You would want us to find you in presence beside us when beauty brightens, when kindness glows and music echoes eternal tones. When orchids brighten the earth, darkest winter has turned to spring. May this dark grief flower with hope in every heart that loves you. May you continue to inspire us, to enter each day with a generous heart, to serve the call of courage, and to love until we see your beautiful face again in that land where there is no more separation, where all tears will be wiped from our mind, and where we will never lose you again.
Together in eternity, our hearts of love will be entwined. Together in eternity, forever in eternity. No more tears of pain in our eyes. will be with you. Will be with you. No more tears of pain in our eyes. No more fear or shame, for we will be with you. We will be with you. We'll be with you. Oh, I will be yours, you will be mine, together in eternity.
All right. This reading is called Good Night, My Darling, and it's by Becky Hemsley from When I Am Gone. Good night, my darling. I'll see you tomorrow. That is what we always said. And as night swallowed day, and the moon made its way to the darkening sky overhead. But one day my whole world was darkened, as tomorrow for you never came. And so now, as I wake, there is only an ache, as I know I won't see you again. And it's hard to explain feeling empty, and yet so full of pain all at once, like a door that's been closed, yet left open, exposed, like a spotlight on something that's gone. And the thoughts of tomorrow are too much, so I've come for a walk on my own. And I'm breathing in now like I'm just learning how, asking why must I do this alone? Then I realize that you are beside me. You're the wind as it kisses my hair. You're the birds and the flowers, the fresh April showers, the leaves as they dance through the air. You are everything I can see life in, like the feathers I find on the ground, and I suddenly see the world beside me is where whispers of you can be found. So I'll look out for signs that you're with me, and in time they might lessen the sorrow. And as night swallows day, listen, you'll hear me say, good night, darling, I'll see you tomorrow.
I would now like to introduce to you those who will be reading the names. Dr. Matt Kadix, Hospice Medical Director. Tina McAvoy, Hospice Supervisor. And Chelsea Leitcher, Hospice Chaplain. If you guys want to come. If we mispronounce your loved ones' names, you'll have the time at the end to correct them, as well as offering any other names if we have not mentioned them.
In loving memory, Carmen Alvarado, Sue Armas, Sunny Arnold, Brooklyn Grace Arola, Robbie Artiaga, Mario Artiaga Jr., Mario Arteaga Sr. Mary Arteaga Sr. Bob Baker. John F. Barnum. Austin Troy Bartu. John Boss. Mary Boss. Bob Boss. Vicky Beaver. Virginia Betancourt. Tony Betancourt. Rex Bewley. Marge Bewley. Bob Bewley. Johnny Bicknell. Daniel Blau. Elizabeth Bolding. Lionel Bowers. Lyle Bowman. Phyllis Bowman. Grandma and Grandpa Shadaman.
Herman A. Brown. Sister Teresa Brown. Fuldenzo Brunello. Billy Bryan. Dorothy Bayall. Paul Bayall. Isabel Camacho. Victor M. Canberro. Alvin Chanley. Lon Sterling Shinova. Jan Christensen. Joel Clark. Jim Clymer. Jacqueline Clymer. Grandma Cox. Walden Cooper. Lucy Cortez. Dora Hernandez Cortez. Lucy Cortez. John Costello. Thelma Costello. Robert Cowell. Mary Cox. Nora Crouch. The Del Porto family. Janet Davila.
Glenn Davis. Dr. Scott Davis. Judy Davis. Carol Donati. Elsie Donati. Clifford Donati. Lupe Duarte. John Pops Duarte. Roberta Dunn. Art Dutra. Maria Dutra. Manuel Dutra Jr. Manuel Dutra Sr. Carl Edward. Joe Ellis. Eldora Enos. Jim Enos. Libradra Estrella. Ferdinand Estrella. Carl Falstrom. Marguerite Falstrom. Kenneth Ford. Leona Ford.
Juanita Frausto. John Furman. Mary Jane Furman. Antonio Galvan. Aurora and Vincent Galvan. Olivia Galvan. Natalie Gamble. Joe George. Joseph Earl George. Gregory Kilcrest. Klein's family. Carmelita Gonzalez. Gussie Goodhue. Donald R. Gray. Janet Boyd Green. Ron Guida. Guida family. Ricarda Gutierrez. Joseph P. Haley. Margaret S. Haley. June Hanson. Heracle family. Donald Harrelson. Gwendolyn Harrelson. Suzanne Harrelson. Clara C. Haugen. John and Marge Hearn. Malcolm Hearn.
Dixie Heinsohn. Dora Hernandez Cortez. Ralph Rodriguez Hewitt. Jacob Heibel. Patricia Heibel. Richard Height. Rick Height, Dr. Norman Hoffman, Ruby Jean Howell, Stan Howerton, Hazel Howerton, Bill Hunsaker, Travis Hurd, Dr. Robert L. Ibsen, Mr. and Mrs. Albert Ibsen, Art Jackman, Antonio Javier, Rosemarie Capucinkas, Thomas Capucinkas, Dr. John Karametsos, Thomas Anthony Carnes, Jack and Leona Kendrick, Tom Kendrick, Roy R. Kilgore,
Nana Kyrol, Sister Florence Kohler, Dennis Crater, Harvey Crater, Rosalie Crater, Violet Crater, John and Julia Krysak, Larry Kubander, Jody Kubander, Dolores Labaro, Helen Lavanino, Larry Lavanino Sr., Marianne Lindsay, Joseph Leinge, Cliff Loader, Betty June Long, Tony Machado Sr., Kurt Martin Kahuhipa Maihulano, Donald Malin Sr., Andrew Mansauer, L. Manisauer, Guadalupe Manriquez, Junior Manriquez, Alex Manriquez, Carmen Manriquez, Christopher Martinez, Pete Martinez, Max Martinez,
Valentina Martins, Patty McDaniel, John and Betty McAvoy, Pat McAvoy, Julie McKinsey, June McMillan, Yvonne Megnot, Tim Megnot, Russell Allen Miller, Sr., Stanley Minami, Gary Miyamoto, David F. Morales, Les Mulcahy, Julio Munar, Father Mark Newman, Julian Noriega, Novak family, Patrick O'Daniels, Jenny Oliveira, Joseph Oliveira, Jean Oliveira, Jason Oliveira, Randy Oler, Sally Carol Ostini, Shirley Parrish,
Andreas Puturis, Diane Patterson, Anne Marie Perry, Roll and Eleanor Piet, Rosemary and Michael Pollock, Lieutenant Nathan Poloski, Fred Porreco, Peter L. Prater, the Ramos family, Alfonso Rosso, Vilia Rosso, Jeremy Redford, Rebecca Richmond, Michael Richmond, John L. Ricks Jr., Mr. and Mrs. Ricks Sr., Lena Roberts, Lou and Gulfida Rodarte, David Rodarte, Leosa Sandoval, Ray Santos, Maria Santos, James Santos, Sister Rosemary Schumacher, Rodolfo Cerna, Vinay Vikram Seta, John and Thelma Sheffield, William Schreiner, Helen E. Silva, Noah John Slocum,
Joseph Smith, Gerald Jer L. Smith, Alex Smith, David Smith, Charlene Smith, Jacqueline Snyder, Jerry Souza, Nancy Sponigal, Gary Stanley, Danielle Stewart, Herman Stubby Stubblefield, Jim Sullivan, Fiona Sullivan, Sue J. Sword, Judy Tanny, Rosalie Uti, Patricia Ulmer, James Ulmer, Mary Van Meter, Valerie Vargas Morales, Helen Varney, Sean Vedro,
Edward Verduzco and Sean Verduzco. Greta Veres. Renato Villamor. Barbara Margaret Weaver. Linda Ray Webb. Carol V. Williford. Caroline Wilms. Tom Wooldridge. Sergio Zepeda. Marjorie Ziemba. Dr. Joseph F. Ziemba. Bobby Ziemba.
Is there anyone else that you would like to offer up in a name? Yes, sir. Alan Margaret Cox and Julie Cox. Yes, ma'am. Carla Robles. Yes, ma'am. Christian Bostick. Yes, ma'am. Vernon Hermanson and Leonora Hermanson. Dawn and Marianne Kramer. Elizabeth Wetzel. Logan Whittle. Yes. Sandy Bankston. Dawn Dennison.
what holds tomorrow. The fight that we fight day to day, joy and sorrow. How can you know, how can you know if you love a brother or a sister? Stretching out our arms to enfold one another. But if you knew how much I cared for you, you know the light you see is the light to see you through. 'Cause like raindrops and snowflakes, we all make a river, and that river's flowing to the ocean above. Oh, now I am calling, oh, you to flow into my river and live in the ocean. Come swim in the ocean. Oh, live in the ocean of love. But if you knew how much I cared for you, but if you knew how much I cared for you, you know the light you see is the light to see you through. 'Cause like raindrops and snowflakes, we all make a river, and that river's flowing to the ocean above. Oh, now I am calling, oh, you to flow into my river and live in the ocean. Come swim in the ocean, live in the ocean of love. How can you know what holds tomorrow?
This is from Moving On. We are all a mixture of everyone we have ever known. And so when they are gone, little parts of us are gone too. But the opposite is also true. As long as we are here, they remain in us, in all of our little everyday habits that were once theirs and become ours. So do not feel too pressured to move on, only forwards, knowing you will be carrying them with you all the way.
entered this life a ways back and put skin on to walk two-legged on this creation. And what a glorious time it was. It taught me about breath and about sensing and feeling and caring through my heart. And I walked on around that red road, looking and trying to understand more about the mystery and the secrets she holds. And you spoke to me through the wind. And you sang to me through the birds. And you brought challenges forth so that I might listen to the message you bring me more sincerely. And I kept walking down this road. And I came round the bend at the middle of that curve in the road, and I began to find a secret in the spirit of myself. And still I walked on. Sometimes blind and deaf, and sometimes with pain. But I fought with my fears, and I embraced my unknowingness, and still I walked on. And my children and my family stood with me. And we came to know each other in those later years more than we had before. For some of our falseness had fallen away. And still I walked on. And I kept walking on this road towards you, towards that other world that grew closer to me with each step. And as the door of the Great Spirit world came closer, my fear loomed up inside sometimes, but something called me forth. The morning star rose with each day. And my prayer became a centering. And still I walked on. Until I began to hear the song of the mother. And her arms embraced me so. instead of walking, she carried me right to the door. And as the door opened, I heard her song. And her song lifted me up. So I could soar.
If someone you love did not make it on the trip, you can take it for them, with them. If someone you love did not witness that milestone, you can show them anytime you like. If someone you love did not get to do their living, you can finish those dreams on their behalf. The beautiful thing about love, you see, is that death need not stop life. If you carry someone in your heart, you can take them with you anywhere you like. As you leave today, please take a heart as a remembrance of your loved one, of the mark they left and the love they shared with you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for coming.